But without further ado, we're going to get kick-started by talking about WWE. A couple of weeks ago, there was a PLE called Wrestlepalooza. It was debuted on ESPN. And I know there's a lot that we can take away from this, but I also want to talk a little bit about John Cena more in depth in a bit. So I just want one takeaway that you have from Wrestlepalooza and why you think it might have been a good pay-per-view, a good PLE, a bad one, or just average.
Yeah, absolutely.
One.
Yeah. I'll just say it was a okay PLE. I would say it wasn't too crazy. Wasn't too like oh my goodness. Like I said, there was there was some good matches with I think about the main event was Rollins and Becky and then Punk and AJ Lee. So it was good to see AJ Lee for me, like fighting, seeing her. That was the biggest highlight for me, and just really biggest takeaway too is just seeing like also like Stephanie also just doing her thing as well. Stephanie Bakir and Io Sky, that match was entertaining for me as well, and just seeing her win too was the biggest thing. Like I enjoyed both. Like I would have been fine either way. I love both those wrestlers. But for me, it was like, okay, yeah, let's go, Stephanie, let's go.
Yeah, give her the nod because they're definitely pushing her. And it's rightfully so.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, it was great, just seeing that. But then, John Cena and Brock Lesnar, that match was it was solid. I mean, but again, if it's about building up Brock Lesnar too and everything like that, fine. But then at the same time, though, I'm also thinking about how John Cena's not going to be here for much longer and all. Exactly. So, like, what are we doing? What are we doing with him at all? But yeah, overall, it was an okay PLE for me.
Okay, a lot of what you said, I agree with. But the one thing I'd have to say, because I agree, it was pretty much an average PLE, I'd say. But the one thing I'd say on the negative point of view is that I think right now WWE is relying far too much on established stars or people who are like past their prime and just like need to like have that like name recognition. Because you think about this PLE Wrestlepalooza, it was built around basically like a few part-timers and then guys who are past their prime, like in their 40s. Like, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, that was the biggest quote-unquote draw for the casual fan, I imagine, because they just have so much drawing power. And then the mixed tag team match, like CM Punk, he's late in his 40s. And Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, obviously they're kind of, you could argue they're still in their prime, I imagine.
You could.
But they have a lot of, like, mileage and, and of course it was great seeing AJ Lee back. But then even, like, Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, like, I think there's just not a lot of emphasis on the young talent. Like, they're not building up the younger stars to be, like, the future. Like, and I think that's kind of something that a lot of people thought was not good with Vince McMahon. And people thought, like, having Triple H in control of creative booking, they thought he was going to change that. But now they're kind of still going back to that. And I don't know if that's because of him or is it because of TKO.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of TKO for sure, because I think for them they're thinking dollars more than anything. That match, they're just thinking about dollars and how they can make money, and it was a surefire way to get that. It's like John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, like name recognition. And I mean, I think because I think about also how they'll say, oh, it's NXT, like go watch NXT if you want to see young up and comers and everything. And even that still is like, no, like I want to see certain people from NXT going off right now. Like I want to see a Carmelo Hayes going. I don't want to just, and even I guess you can argue Braun Breaker is doing a little something, but even then it's still not like, I mean, again, it just takes time. He has to put in time, I guess, but it's still like I think that WWE's relying heavily right now on name recognition, right now, especially in the time that they're in right now. And again, eventually that's going to be a problem because again, like again, if you're pushing and pushing all these older people, like, they're going to get injured eventually, and they're going to be run. And then it's also going to be like when you do introduce a new up and they're going to be like, why should I care about this person?
Yeah, who is this? Yeah,
exactly. Like, why should I care? That they're here, they're doing something special, and also
like who would you say? We're gonna transition into something else in a second, but who would you say is the biggest draw in from a woman's perspective, like on the women's side? Who's their biggest draw?
Who's their biggest draw? I think they got a lot of draws. I mean,
like I want to. Like, I have an answer, but I want to know.
I know what your answer is.
Okay, just tell me.
I mean,
you don't have to be different. You can just admit it. You don't. You can.
I mean, okay. Like, I feel like their biggest draw right now is. I mean, you could say, it's Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
And then
so
you
why
could
isn't
say
she on the card?
Sky.
Why is she on the card?
You could say Stephanie Bakura because again, I think Stephanie Bakura and then Io Sky are the top 5 people right now. You could argue. Right now for women's wrestler.
I agree.
I'm talking about right now.
I agree that Stephanie Bakura is a great in-ring wrestler, but I don't think she has the she just got here. I don't think she has the drawing power yet.
Well, no, I'm just saying I think they've done a great job of building her up organically. I'll give them that as far as, and I feel like she has the potential to. I think they are trying to make her a top one. I mean, she's the world champion right now for a reason and everything. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that, at least top 5, because it's obvious she was popular enough to become the world champion and everything too. They wouldn't. Again, we just talked about how TKO cares about name recognition and all that, and so
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so they were like, okay, we're going to give it to Steph. Because again, it was like, Naomi, she got pregnant. So it was like, okay, what we going to... They could have easily given it to Io Sky. They could have easily... Again, like you said, Rhea Ripley. But they were like, oh, no, okay, we'll give it to Stephanie instead.
That's fair enough. I just think, personally, it's a crime, in my opinion, to just not have your biggest draw on the woman's side. And then the men's side, people can argue with this all they want. They can pretend that I love Cody Rhodes, but Roman Reigns is still their biggest draw, even now, even when he's not. So not having them both on your debut PLE for ESPN when you're trying to draw the most, I don't think it's a wise decision. But I want to transition to something really quickly. So John Cena, we know he's approaching his end date. This is his last year before he's sadly retiring as the greatest of all time. But I want to get your thoughts on what you think, or who you think should be his last match in his retirement match. And I want this to be, obviously,
I got a lot.
Got to think about it.
Yeah.
But come up with your best option.
The last one,
Yep, his retirement match.
I mean, I think if you want to be... Because I'm trying to think, do I want to see him win on his last match, or do I want to see him lose in his match? That's what I'm thinking about, too. Because it's do we want to see him going out on top, or do we want to see him just handing off the torch to somebody again and everything? So, for me, I can see it being... Because that's a lot of pressure, too. So I feel like they want to give it to someone who's very seasoned, and the match is going to be good. And it depends on what type of match John Cena wants to have, too. Does he want to have a top... what's the last... what's the last match? What's his last...
Saturday Night's Main Event.
Saturday Night's Main Event. So, again, I think it's just about how he wants to go out on top. So, I would say...
Do you still need to think? Because I have mine in mind.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
All right.
Because I have a couple. I'm just trying to go.
I think this story is already ready made. It's actually kind of perfect. He has history with this person dating back to kind of the best run of his career, I'd say, honestly, from an in-ring perspective. Yeah, and that's Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins is his last
And
opponent.
I think it works because, John Cena's been calling himself the last real champion for this run that he's been doing for this past year. And it works because he could have a big, recognizable title match, possibly, against Seth Rollins if he still holds the title up until, December or so. And both outcomes work, I'd say. Because if you have John Cena go over and he wins the championship, he's just going to leave and vacate it, and he'll just go back, and it'll be a good potential tournament match where you could just have a new champion be crowned. Or you could have Seth Rollins become the ultimate, that would be the biggest rub for him as a heel. But he's trying to be a heel, but people really don't hate him right now. But a lot of these people will be so upset because Seth Rollins has ruined John Cena's last match and he beat them. And possibly it could be with interference from the Vision, perhaps. And they both obviously have chemistry, and Seth Rollins is the trusted person to have John Cena's last match. Nobody fears he wouldn't be able to do it. So I think that's a perfect ready-made match for them.
I don't know how I feel about that because I get you're saying the outcome he could vacate it and everything, but it's still he beats Seth Rollins. You want to see.
He said he's the last real champion, and perhaps it could be, they're trying to set up Roman Reigns in the future to him and Seth are going to be in a collision course. Maybe it's not Cena beats him clean. It's Roman Reigns interferes and then John Cena wins. Because you want to protect Seth Rollins because he's going to be still there.
Yeah. So I'm going to take a different approach with this just because for me I feel like this would be more sentimental. This would be very entertaining. And I wouldn't mind seeing Dirty Dom, honestly. Him and Dirty Dom fight. I know most people are going to be oh no, we don't want it. But I think with the big thing with John Cena is not thinking about long-term storytelling or anything like that, but just him, he's somebody that wants to put people over now. He's not in a place where he wants to die. He's already been a champ. What else does he have to prove now and everything? And so, but then just having that match with Dirty Dom and trying to put him over and everything too, and just make him because I could see Dirty Dom beating him somehow, some way, and everything too, but. Again, that was and then I was also thinking about Chad Gable too, as far as that could be a entertaining, fun match to watch. If we want something entertaining and fun to watch, something where it's going back and forth, and then him trying to put over Chad Gable too as well, as far as Chad being heel and then him still being face, and them just having a match, or maybe there could be a face turn. Maybe Chad Gable becomes face again too as well, and then it's John Cena's this is the guy, and everything. So for me, I'm thinking I want to see him go up against a young super, because again, we just talked about he's not, granted, I don't know how old Chad Gable is, but
he's not an established main event guy.
Yeah. And even I think about LA Knight too. I know it's not it's not the prettiest match and everything. I know a lot of people will be oh, it's not pretty. It's not oh yeah, Seth Rollins versus John Cena, or John Cena versus AJ Styles, or John all the why is he doesn't need that though? If
he doesn't need it, but they want
But why do we need that? Why do we need that?
Because it's John Cena. He's the greatest of all time. You want to have a match that for his last match that is fitting, that fits the spectacle.
If that was the case, then he would still be champion. Then, why not take the championship away from him?
Okay, he doesn't need the championship, but
then why does he need a championship?
You still need to have high profile matches. That's why they had Brock Lesnar fight him. That's why they want AJ Styles fighting him. That's why he's probably going to be in the War Games match. I imagine that's going to happen. You need to have somebody. I argue Braun Breaker if you want to do somebody feud who's not established, that catapults him.
Yeah, Braun Breaker would
completely.
Be cool too.
But yeah, those are good thoughts. But we might have to table this for another discussion later. Because as it gets closer and closer to his end date, I think we'll have to discuss this more in depth.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see what WWE goes with as far as do they just want, again, do they want it to be a spectacle or do they just want it to be like, okay, like something like just John Cena might be like, I don't have, again, he's not going to care either way.
No.
He'll be like, whatever
They'll
y'all
do what
give me.
they do, yeah.
Yeah, whatever they give me, they'll give me. So it's up to them to decide ultimately.
Yeah.